been here. I have people say, "Oh, that's fake." I was like, "No, this is the ranch."
Nick, how much life insurance do you need to sell to be able to buy a ranch like that?
Uh, I don't know, $4 million worth
All
of profit of commissions.
right, I need to get back to work.
Yeah,
So
ready?
anyway, I'll let you take it from here, brother, and wherever you want to go, take the call over.
Cool. All right. Real quick, I can't see all of you, but show of hands if you completed your T3, your Theta Talk track with the tool that I gave you. Or maybe I do this every time I go to a large group. Just drop a one in the chat if you did it, so we know you did it. Drop a one. Let's see how many ones we can get. If you did the Theta Talk track, I had one of you reach out to me on social because it wasn't working, and I didn't change anything, and then it worked. So maybe you just have to hit me up if it wasn't working, and then it'll magically work. I would like. It wouldn't let me complete it. I would like me to complete it. Yeah. See, a couple of guys had issues. I'm not sure. I mean, we haven't had any issues, but Chrome is the only browser I've tested it on. I don't know who uses anything but Chrome. You're a weirdo, but maybe people use Safari. If you guys remember correctly, 100% cannot do it from a mobile device because it's a 21-minute audio track, and your mobile phone does not have the capacity to download that from the web browser. So it has to be done on a desktop. So Connor, I'm new. I didn't know what that was. Maybe you can go back and check the replay or just have one of your guys or girls fill you in. But want to make sure you guys are actually doing the work so I can keep dropping cool shit. Joe Hardy, he did it. Of course, Joe hit it. Joe's with me. I think Matt should be on here too. I should have two of my program guys in here. Um, Today, we're going to talk about productivity. We're going to talk about consistent execution. And I know for a fact one of Yaya's guys is in here, so he's going to hear this acronym, but it's going to be a slightly different version. It's going to be called protecting your team. So if you have something to write with, write this down: your time, energy, attention, and mindset. I'll throw another quote at you that you might want to hang on to. The greats do consistently what the goods do occasionally. You just heard Jonah say you can't go to the gym for a week and then put the weights down and say, I got this. You can't go all out and date the missus and then eventually marry the missus and you know, then say, okay, I got this. I landed her, so I don't have to do work anymore. Like for those of you that are still out there on the dating scene, which is probably a lot of you, and for those of you who are close to being wifed up or wifed up, like just think about your first date. And the reality is on your first date, most men anyway, and sorry, women, you're going to have to hear this. You're trying to get laid. And so because it's your first date, you're trying to get laid. You take extra special, you get the haircut, you got the car washed, maybe you did a little manscaping, right? Like you went above and beyond for date one because you had a desired result. So you put all this effort and energy in because you wanted this desired result. And then over time, you start to let off the gas on that. So consistently sowing good seeds so that you can reap the fruit provided by said seeds. So today we're going to talk about building your bookends. So I'm going to show you a little slide deck just for kicks. We're going to whiz through it. Some of you might be visual learners and you just don't want to hear my fat Italian mouth yell at you the whole time. So for that sake, I'm going to show you something. Put a two in the chat if you are using AI on a regular basis. It's not the premise of today's call, but I just want to point out this slide deck was built in less than 2 minutes for $0. All right. And I don't mean talking to ChatGPT and just asking dumb questions. I mean actually using things that help you. And I've met some of you. I've talked to some of you. I know for a fact some of you are using it to actually benefit your money game, benefit your business, etc. Let me share my screen real quick. I'll give you another free little hack. Sorry, I got a million screens up. Preview. Yeah, this should work. Just back this up a little bit. Notebook LM, if you guys are bored, you want to know how I built this in less than 2 minutes. This is a sidebar you can add. Notebook LM, it's a free offer by Google. They have a pro version. Don't download it. 4 days ago, they just teamed up with Nano Banana. Yes, that's a real software company. The problem with living in this world like I do is some punk kid creates some really cool tech and then he names it whatever he wants. And then grown men have to say things like Nano Banana on a live call. But this is the managing your team slide deck. Was built in 2 minutes. That's not really the point. I want to get into this: time, energy, attention, and mindset. So Every top producer that you admire, they're not better than you. I promise you. I promise you, promise you. One thing I know about Jonah is Jonah is very, very particular with the way he does shit, and he's very consistent in the things that he does. Jonah has a morning routine. Jonah has a evening routine, a winding down routine. Jonah is so effing consistent. That's the biggest difference I want you to take away. So when you're looking at somebody who's either out producing you for some reason, or they maybe have figured things out faster than you, maybe they came into the game a little later than you, and they're blowing by you. They likely have some key habits that they have formed, and most importantly, because they're habits now, they are very, very consistent with those. The only two areas that you have complete control over, and we all know this because the day gets away from you. You get stuck on a shitty call. Maybe you get stuck on a call that went well, but it still took you an hour and 20 minutes. Maybe some things happen throughout the day that kind of throw you off what you wanted to do for the day or how you're showing up for these calls. There's two areas in your day where you have absolute control. And if you don't after this call, you should. And that's your morning and your evenings. We call those your bookends. Like literally in the morning. Jonah, real quick, let me take you off mute for a second. Can you just kind of give a little, just a couple pieces of your morning routine? Maybe you don't want to give away the whole recipe. Just give us one ingredient, two ingredients.
I'll give you the whole thing. So
There you go.
I wake up, big on hydrating. When you wake up, you're dehydrated. So I immediately drink electrolytes and drink a bunch of water. Wakes me right up. I typically go outside, just get fresh air, just breathe. And then from there, read my Bible, stretch, do some mobility work, big on stretching and longevity, hop in the cold plunge, and then shower up, go to the office. Simple. Thank God for my
Nice.
blessings, clear my mind. But I make sure I take it like I wake up early enough where I have enough time in the morning to do all these different things. And that way I'm not rushed. Because if you wake up and then you're rushed and it's like, all right, like, oh, I gotta get to the office and I gotta do this, you're reacting to everything all day. But if you wake up early enough where you can take your time and it doesn't have to be a crazy routine. Where who's that guy in LA that's trying to live till age 150? What's his name?
Oh God, I forget his name. I
Brian
know exactly what
Brian Johnson.
Yeah,
Brian
Brian
Johnson.
Johnson.
Dude, he's got a 7 hour morning routine. Wakes up like 4 a.m. He's not done until noon. It's like you don't need anything crazy, but just consistency is the name of the game.
Drop a one in the chat if you have a morning routine. And if I was to call on you right now, you could spit it out, no problem. Oh, Claudia jumped in there. Probably has no choice living with crazy ass Jonah. I like it. All right, we got a couple. Brian Cox, give me a little bit of just give me a couple things you do in the morning.
I thought as cool as Jonas, but I wake up at 6 a.m. I do my 2 cups of coffee, which I'm sure you don't do with cream and sugar. I get my son up for school. I jump in the shower, get him on the bus. And then I get home and start. Now I'm starting to prep for my day's work
What does it look like to prep for your day's
every
work?
day. Make sure the house is clean, make sure everything else is tidy real quick, and then I get on there and just make sure all my notes are where they need to be so I can get quick resources. I just go over my emails and just check everything to make sure, I'm ready to start calling. I don't like everything hanging, if I got calls to make, I like everything to be organized going into it.
Yep. And then let me hear from somebody else real quick. Let's see here. Zero choice, Claudia. You're damn right. Let's hear from one of the ladies. Valerie. I don't want to say it wrong. Talk to me, girl. What's your morning routine? Give me a couple things you do.
Yeah, it's Valeria.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so in the mornings, I mean, I do wake up early around like maybe 5 in the morning just to kind of get my Bible and my time with God, which is essential for me,
Yeah.
right? So then after that, I go and hit the gym, come back and take a shower and yeah, just start, heading to my desk and clearing everything. Um, I also speak like life into me, start declaring the word of God over me before starting my day, just starting out positive for the day because it can get like chaotic, sometimes like that. But it's good to start with that positive mindset and with the word of God, just reminding yourself like his promise over your life.
Awesome. Awesome. Valeria, I got it down now. Valerian Steel, House of Valeria, House of Dragons, Game of Thrones. I'll never forget that from now on. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. All right. So I heard a couple of you talk about planning. drop a 2 in the chat and don't bullshit because I live in the world of truth. If you plan the night before, Joe Hardy, you built me for a while. Turner, talk to me, Turner. What does it look like to plan the night before?
Majority of my days are completely scheduled out almost every 30 minutes, usually like 2 days prior. So I always kind of review the calendar, figure out if there's anything I need to prepare for as far as any sort of trainings, recruiting calls, appointments, anything like that.
So, and I want you guys to just for a second understand, don't have it in your head. It's because he's running a team. He's got a crazy half hour blocked off, completely full day. Most of your days should look like that. In my container, we call it no white spaces. You should even be intentionally blocking off quote unquote free time. But let me ask you something, Turner. How easy is it to go to bed and how easy is it to fly out of bed when you know exactly what you're up against the next day?
It's instant. I mean, it's more of a habit than anything. Obviously, I know exactly what I need to do. Just get up and do it.
Probably one of the biggest takeaways from this call, for those of you not doing that, I can tell you right now, you should be mapping out tomorrow the night before. We're going to get into that a little bit towards the end. I'm going to give you a little action item to complete, but you should 100%. So Brian Cox, I heard you say you do 2 cups of coffee, which is crazy. There's 150 milligrams of caffeine per cup. So you're pushing 300 migs. For those of you that are doing early morning workouts and you're snorting pre-workout, you're probably pushing 275 to 300 migs too. Careful with the caffeine. But you had mentioned that you plan kind of like live in real time or right before you get on your calls. You don't like things hanging. I get that. I would encourage all of you guys to try this tonight. Try to map out tomorrow. What does it mean to map out tomorrow? Hopefully, you guys are keeping some sort of scheduling system, whether you're using like Google Calendar, what have you. Even if it's as simple as I'm on calls from this time to this time. Like even just blocking that off, I promise you, it does a whole lot for your brain to be prepared for that time. And when you look at it the night before, anxiety drops, sleep quality goes up, and most importantly, you fly out of bed ready to go. Even if for now, until you get really good at this, it's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm just taking calls, bro. I'm just fielding calls. That's what I do. I get it. So start to plan. No planning when it's the same. Yeah. I'm still reading. Claudia yelling at me stuff. All right. So we're going to move on here a little bit. All right. I'm going to give you guys my personal power down routine. So you guys heard a little bit from Jonah on what he does in the morning. I'm going to give you guys my exact, well, part of it, I should say. If we don't get into all the crazy physical stuff, I'll give you a little hack from Andrew Huberman. You should always go to sleep cold, hungry, and blind. Meaning blackout curtains are crucial. Some sort of really, really dark room. Show of hands, because I don't have the chat up right now, if you have to fall asleep with the TV on. I still do sometimes, right? I still need some sort of white noise. So just be careful with that. Obviously, you've probably heard this before. No blue light about an hour or 2 before bed. So for those of you right now, you should do this on your phone and feel free to do it live on this call. You should have your phone switch over to nighttime mode after about 7 p.m. Free feature on the iPhone in settings. It turns everything to yellow light, pulls all the blue light out of your device. You can do this on just about any TV that's like newer than 5 years old. Every single TV has it. If you are worried that your TV doesn't have it and you really want to take this serious, go get some $30 blue light glasses off of Amazon. You look like a little weirdo, but I promise you this, your quality of sleep will increase by pulling blue light out. My rule is 3 hours before my head hits the pillow, but at least an hour. So I know this generation falls asleep doom scrolling on their phone in bed. So again, at the very least, if you can't kick that habit right away, turn the blue light off on that iPhone. Please, please, please. It's a free setting on your phone. So that's what I mean by blind. You should be pulling out blue light. You should be sleeping in the darkest room possible. Let's talk about temperature. 68 degrees or lower. Raise your hands, ladies, if that's absolutely unacceptable and that's freezing and there's no effing way you would ever sleep at 68 degrees. I've been married for almost 30 years, so like I know, like it's always I feel like you're supposed to marry your complete opposite, and she's a effing furnace, or I'm a furnace and she's a polar bear. So it's very difficult to figure out the fight of the thermostat in our house. But for those of you that can handle it, those of you that have complete control over your thermostat, 68 degrees or lower. So you should go to bed blind, you should go to bed cold, and you should go to bed hungry. Show of hands if you snack at night before you go to bed. Very common. No big deal. I'm not going to kick your ass. How come no one wants to raise their hands? You guys are all fucking awesome. because I'll get cranky real quick. The ladies are playing ball. The guys got fucking egos. Every single guy on here will eat 17 minutes before he goes to bed tonight. Mark my fucking word. Except Jonah, because he's nuts. Now, there's a few of you that have got this game down. I'm telling you right now, stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. Most importantly, now that you've heard this and you didn't want to raise your hand because you don't want to be the one guy, because the guys seem to be scared today, just become hyper aware. Like, a lot of the snacking that you're doing is just a habitual, it's just a pattern. There's a commercial on, you're watching something, you get up, you make a hot lap around the island in the kitchen, you open up the fridge, you open up the pantry. Like, you might do that 4 times a night. You might only grab something once, but I promise you, that's a pattern that's on repeat. So now just become hyper aware, pattern interrupt that pattern, and try not to put something in your mouth 3 hours before bed. What happens when you feed yourself before bed is you're not giving your body the chance to actually get into deep sleep because it's busy burning calories, metabolizing food. So if you want deeper, more quality sleep, don't eat food, pull out the blue light, sleep in darkness, sleep in cold. And then caffeine, guys, caffeine should be pulled by about 2 or 3 p.m. So if you're a nighttime gym guy, go find a stimulant-free pre-workout. Did you guys know that caffeine is a vasoconstrictor? Anyone know what I mean when I say vasoconstrictor?
Yeah, it makes your veins tense up so there's not as much blood flow.
Correct. And then what's the whole point of working out, bro? What are we chasing? We're chasing the what?
Oxygen. Sorry, my system's going to having oxygen go to the brain.
Yeah, we're chasing what's called the pump. Everybody, when you train, all you want to do is just so we're clear. When you train a muscle, you're just creating micro tears in that muscle. You're tearing the muscle in hopes that your nutrition is on point, and then all those little micro tears that you tore because you did arms, biceps, you want to repair those. And the body's a creature of adaptation. It repairs with a little bit stronger bicep every time you tear it down, assuming your nutrition's on point. And to get it to tear, you have to get it to grow to a place where it wants to tear. This is the pump. That requires vasodilation. It requires that the blood is flowing heavily to the area that you're training. So what's interesting about these crazy guys like Bucked Up, I haven't done pre-workout, so I'm going to give you maybe an older one. It's 330 mg of caffeine. Because the concept is mentally, if I'm tweaked out of my mind, the pre-workout must be working. When in fact, if you switch to a zero stim, you'll actually get a better pump and a better workout. So something to think about, guys, especially those guys training late at night. Arginine makes your face tingle. Beta alanine makes the stick around a little longer. Caffeine is for the jittery, nut jab, crackhead feeling. So be careful with your pre-workouts. All right. Moving on from my nighttime routine, I'm going to give you, I think I have a longer version of this. So let me get into that in a second. Let's move to the letter E, energy, energy, energy. We talked a lot about sleep. Sleep is everything. Sleep is the ultimate hack. Is anybody here does anybody wear a Whoop or run Aura? All right, we got Claudia. I think Claudia's on the Whoop. I've seen it. Ryan, anybody else tracking their data? You don't got to go crazy like Brian Johnson, but I see a Whoop. I think something. What is that, Georgia? On your hand. There you go. Garmin?
No, it's a Google Pixel.
Oh, okay. There you go. So the cool thing about Whoop and Aura, and if you're willing to wear some of these big clunky watches, I have a Garmin and a Whoop because I'm a data guy, but sometimes the Garmin's hard to wear at night. A, it has to charge. B, it's a pretty big monster to have on your wrist when you're sleeping. But you should be pushing for about 6 to 7 hours a night. Believe it or not, this is going to sound counterproductive. The older you get, the less sleep your body needs. So you guys might think, I'm young. This guy's 45 on this call, and he's telling me that sleep is important. And I'm a savage, and I can just sleep 3 hours a day and get up and crush calls and crush the gym and drink 6 Celsiuses and live life, bro. I'm telling you right now, everybody on this call, except for my man Matt, needs more sleep than I do. That's a fact, Jack. Matt, you're the only one I can see. So sorry, I'm calling you out there. But the reality is, everybody here needs to be pushing 6, 7 hours. If you can get 8, I'm telling you, when you start tracking that, watch your productivity go much higher. Might be something cool in the chat. Sorry about that. So the other way that we affect our energy is what we eat. Like, guys, I get it. Ladies, I get it. If you're working 6, 7, 8 and you're back to back on calls, like you haven't eaten in a while, and you instantly, your blood sugar drops, you want to reach for some absolute shit food. You want to reach for sugar. You want to reach for carbohydrates. Like, I'm not going to tell you guys to go keto or OMAD or intermittent fasting or all the things, but be careful with what you put in your body. Like you need to eat for fuel, for performance. That's what food should represent to you. Go have a nice meal once in a while. Like, get creative with what you're cooking. I want you to love what you eat, but I also want you to really, really look at the food that you're eating and start to, again, I live in the world of programming, which is pattern recognition. When I eat this is my energy levels. When I don't eat this is my energy. When I don't eat this, I stay on calls better. I'm more mentally coherent. My objection handling seems smoother. I don't get cranky when I get told no 4 calls in a row. Like, this is serving me. Cool. Let me eat more of that. Let me be smart with what I put in my body. Let me control my energy. Another big one you can do. I've seen The Office, and I know some of you work from home, but we're going to get into this with attention, but this serves the same purpose under energy. Every 50 minutes, I would write this one down and remember it. Every 50 minutes, you should get up and leave your desk. And Jonah might kill me for this. Now, if you're on a Prezi or you got some things cooking, obviously not. Don't like, hey, a credit card information? Oh no, hold on. Nick said I gotta leave. It's 51 minutes. I don't need the credit card. Let me get some shit. Like, but you should be leaving your desk every 10 minutes. We call this leaving the scene of the crime. You should get up from your desk. Matter of fact, if I was to come down to Tampa and park outside and stare at the cool whips, bro, and I sat in this parking lot for an hour and I didn't tell you I was there, I should see some of you walking around the parking lot. Get up from your desk every 50 minutes and do a hot lap. Leave the scene of the crime. Get some air. Get some sunlight, some vitamin D. I promise you, your energy levels will increase, and more importantly, your attention. You have all been conditioned. You have all been programmed to work 50 minutes on, 7 to 10 minutes off. Who here knows where that came from? Where in your life did this schedule exist?
High school.
There it is. School. They did that for a reason. They know they can't keep kids in a classroom for 7, 8, 10 hours or 6 hours and try to shove some crap down their throat that they don't even know how to learn. Like, they're very intentional with 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off. You can look this up when you hang up the call. It's called the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro is just Italian for tomato. It's a tomato timer. This is what they used to use when they used to cook tomatoes for all the crazy pastas. I'm Italian, so I can talk shit here. All the crazy, Italian food that they used to do. So literally, Hormozy uses one of these. I have one, but I'm at the ranch, so I don't have it in front of me. It's like a $7 timer you can order off of Amazon, and it's cool because you can turn it like a dial, and you can turn it for 50 minutes. Obviously, we all have cell phones, so you can use that as a timer. You could just stare at the clock. You can create a quick alarm that goes off after 50 minutes. But if you're on just call after call after call after call, and you're not in the middle of a Prezi, please practice getting up from your workstation and just take a hot lap. Jonah, do you have feedback on that? Because I saw you come off mute.
Yeah, if I could add to that, I mean, for me, and you guys see it, any opportunity I get or any meeting I get where it's over the phone and not Zoom, I'm walking outside and I'm walking around. Part of it's because I'm super ADHD, but yeah, getting fresh air, getting sunlight, that's huge. I mean, any guys that are out of the Arizona office, like Jake's walking around all the time. The Arizona office, I love how you guys have standing desks. A lot of those guys, like I see a lot of the guys where, dude, they're sitting in their chair for way too long. Where when you're on the phone with a client, you're not on Zoom. We all have headsets. And one thing I talk about a lot is posture. Posture is everything. Look around, you're never going to see a top producer. Like Ryan was saying earlier, you're never going to see a top producer slouched over. You're never going to see a top producer where they got the football game over here going on. But what you'll find, if they're sitting down, shoulders are straight, they're talking with their hands. But what you see is a lot of top producers, they're getting up and they're walking around and they're closing while they walk. And
You'll close more deals walking around. I can guarantee it scientifically. Yep.
I think better when I walk instead of just sitting. And whether it's the blood flowing or I'm ADHD or whatever it may be, where a lot of us on this call, we're all salespeople. A lot of us call are ADHD. So I would encourage you, $100 on Amazon, get a little standing desk at your table, or just start taking more walks when you're talking to clients and you're down on the phones and walking around the office.
If you're willing to sign a liability waiver, we'll get a couple treadmills under the desk too. Then you get some steps in. Just 20,000 steps a day is a no-brainer when you're closing deals. And so to your point, Joan, I take 2 meetings a day, non-negotiable, have to be walk and talks. And I just, instead of a Zoom, we're doing a phone call, and I'm getting on average 8,000 steps an hour. So if I do 2 a day, that's 16,000. I easily hit the other 4,000 just in life. So 20,000 steps a day is a game changer. Attention, you guys know this one. We're on the letter A now. No brainer. Attention is literally the most valuable currency on the planet Earth. It's not gold. It's not Bitcoin, believe it or not. It's not oil anymore. It's literally your attention. And if you think these multi-million and now billion-dollar tech guys haven't figured out how to steal your attention and keep it with dopamine loop after dopamine loop after dopamine loop, like we got to find a way. Everybody right now, pull up your phone. And I only know iPhone, so Androids, figure it out. There's a section in settings called screen time. You should all probably know how to find it. And if you're brave enough, I want you to post your screen time in the chat. And if you're really brave, I want you to add next to your screen time how many of those are social media apps or the time, for example. So it'll give you screen time. Then it's going to tell you exactly what apps are taking up that screen time. So let's see who's ready to share this one. Seven hours, 40 minutes. Now, some of you guys, by the way, that screen time might include, like I'm a podcast guy and I might be on a walk and I might just be listening to a podcast. 5 hours, 12 hours. Are these guys taking calls on their phone, Jonah, before I kick their ass for these numbers? 4 hours, 4 hours. Yep. All right, so then just put this, try to add up how many hours are on social media and don't lie. Doesn't serve anybody. Because obviously these numbers are going to be slightly skewed. 0 today. Georgia's got 0. It's okay if you pay your cell phone bill, girl. We got you. 2.5. 24 minutes. 7 hours podcast. Yep. Only 60 minutes social. That's not bad. 8 minutes. 20 to 30. 10 hours mainly texting and YouTube. All right, cool. So here's the experiment. I need somebody with a calculator that wants to play along. And you're going to type this in the chat. What I want you guys to look at as you look at the screen time and you look at the apps that are taking your time, only you know if that's like legit work purpose, you know, you're getting better, personal development, podcasting, etc. If you guys are anywhere near 2 hours wasted a day, and by the way, this might not all be screen time because you could go home and Netflix and chill. I want you to consider this. Somebody who wants to be my human calculator, aka use the calculator in your phone, but post it in the chat.
I can do it.
Thanks, Claudia. I was going to sit here all day and just stare at all your stared ass dudes that don't want to participate with you. All right. Do 2 hours times 365 days a year. Divided by 24 hours in a day. How many days is that?
30.41.
All right. So you see how I got there. If I give up 2 hours a day to shit that does not help me, right, that doesn't move the needle, and I do that every day for 365 days, it's 730 hours. 24 hours in a day, I just gave up 30 days, which means we're in December right now. Most of you guys have given up the month of December to some sort of distraction. And then Joe already beat me to it because Joe hangs out with me a lot. Take that same 730, Claudia, and divide it by 18, assuming you guys sleep at least 6 hours, because none of you guys are up for 24 hours. You're not AI bots yet.
40.5.
40.5, drop it in the chat. 40.55, which means somewhere around like November 20th, we'll call it Thanksgiving, your calendar year has come to a close. So if you wake up on January 1, like the rest of these goofballs, and say, oh, fuck, bro, I'm going to set some cool targets. I'm going to smash the world. I'm going to make this much money. I got 365 days, new year, new me, all the things, right? No, you don't. You've got till November 20th at best. So just think about that. Again, I know I'm coming on you hard, but like, just I hope it's not like from a place of like, fuck you. It's from a place of I love you guys. I want you to win. I love Jonah. And I know you guys all have some crazy work ethic or you wouldn't still be on this call working with him. But like, we can all get better, myself included. I'm just as guilty of it. So here's another free setting on an iPhone, or you can download an app if you need it. On your iPhone, you can control how many minutes you're allowed to hang out on a certain app. So I set all mine to 15 minutes for social media. I have a couple of girls that run my social media. I hate the damn thing anyway. So I go on there and I just check and make sure that they're doing what they need to do, whether it's outreach or post or engage or whatever. But however, I'm just as guilty. Every once in a while, my phone says, hey, dude, your 15 minutes on IG is up. But at the very least, it's creating a pattern interrupting me. And then I have to manually say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go against my own rule. Let me get some more time. And I got to tell Apple I'm going to keep moving. So that's a really, so Brick's, my man put one on there. It's called Brick. There's another one called Opal. Opal's a strong one. Another one, someone could find this if you have time, but a member showed it to me. You have to drop down and do 15 push-ups on your camera, and it has to see you do 15 push-ups to unlock your social media again. So at least, again, it's just trying to create a little pattern interrupt. Because if you know that's robbing you of 2 hours a day or 2 hours here and there, et cetera, like it all adds up. And if you're saying, Jonah, I'm not making what I thought I would make, bro. Nick, I just need to get my finances right. But social media is stealing a lot of my time because I can't get enough of TikTok and all the things. That's cool. Just own that and then ask yourself how you can put safeguards in place to get better at it. Everybody clear on that? Attention, attention, attention. Here's another fun one. I like to have women on this call because I don't usually have women on this call. Girls are good at this. Guys suck at this. Guys, stop multitasking. Multitasking is dog shit. Girls are pretty good at it. Guys are horrible at it. So if you're a dude and you want to run this test when you get off the phone, or you could do it, or this call, you could do it in your head right now. Count to 26. Ready, set, go. Just in your head. Count to 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty quick, right? Cool. Now say your ABCs. 26 letters in the alphabet. A, B, C, D, F, G. Cool. Now you're going to time yourself. How long did it take you to count to 26 and say your ABCs? 2 separate tasks. Then I want you to time yourself doing this. A1, B2, C3, D4, E5, right? You see where I'm going with that? Time yourself doing that, you little multitasking shitheads. Guys, don't do it. We suck at it. Let's just own it right now. For the rest of your life, if you have a girlfriend and when you have a wife, she will eat you alive at that task. And but at the same time, women, please hear me. Don't be mad when I'm watching the game and you got some shit to tell me and you don't understand why I'm not fucking listening. Like, I've already owned the fact that I can't do 2 things at once. I'm all in on this thing. Leave me alone, ladies. So it's cool if you want to take the W in this round. Just understand who you're messing with, and guys just suck at that. All right, I'm gonna move on here. All right, mindset. You heard Jonah talk about this. We heard Valerian Steele, House of Valeria talk about getting her head right, having some talks and some conversation with Jesus, speaking some life into herself with things like affirmations. Everybody here should add this immediately to their morning routine. In addition to, if you're doing walks and talks and you're talking to God and you're doing your prayers, add gratitude. You've heard this before. You've heard it a million times, but until you practice it, you won't understand. Anxiety, depression, fear, anger, frustration, those cannot exist. They cannot coexist with gratitude. When you're walking around in a state of gratitude, if you create a state of gratitude early on, it's literally impossible, physiologically not possible, to also be pissed off, cranky, frustrated, angry, scared, all the things. You can't, those don't exist anymore. So when you find yourself going there, instantly ask yourself, this is simple, what are 3 things I'm grateful for? And then take it another level so you can actually feel it. This will create like a visceral reaction inside of your body. I promise you. Guys, this is not woo-woo. Please lean into this. Why am I grateful for them? I'm grateful for my wife because she allows me to goof off on this ranch. I've been here for 3 weeks while she holds it down at home and handles Christmas shopping and setting up the house for the kids all flying in for the holidays. I'm old. I got old kids. All my kids are at college. So I'm not only am I grateful for my wife, but I'm grateful because she gives me the space to be present on these calls, to come out to the ranch. I just ran a members retreat here. I'm talking to a couple churches who are running events here. I can't be fully present if I'm here and she's nagging, when am I going to come home? When am I going to help at Christmas? When am I going to do things? So I'm grateful for that reason. So what are you grateful for? But then try to go one step deeper and then ask yourself, why am I grateful? I'm telling you guys, this is like a 5-minute practice in the morning. And it will change. If you are waking up with a little anxiety, step 1, start planning at night, because when you're very clear on what you need to do for the day, you will fly out of bed. But if you catch yourself waking up a little anxious, a little unsure, lack of clarity, not sure what my day is going to look like, oh shit, I hope I close a deal today, just sit down for a second and breathe and practice gratitude. Affirmations, we already talked about, are crucial if they're done correctly. So for those of you that are doing the T3 track, a morning is one of the best times to do it. It will put you in a state that when you step into the office, or for those of you that are working from home, when you pick up, put the headset on, and start executing, you'll show up different. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're tracking so far. Time, energy, attention, and money. I need to manage my time better. I need to work at my energy, which is my sleep and all the things I put in my body. My attention is always trying to be taken from me. It's not just social media. It could be, I guess you'll say employee, even though you got a 1099, but it could be just a fellow coworker that talks too damn much. Hey, chief, calm down. I'm about my money. I'm about to get on these calls. I don't care about what you did this weekend. Right? Sometimes you got to create some healthy boundaries. There's always going to be things that are stealing your attention. And then most importantly is my mindset. How can I show up hyper intentional, ready to crush, always positive? I don't care if it's been 4 days since you've closed the deal. The worst thing you could do is show up day 5, cranky that you haven't closed the deal for 4 days. True or not true? You have to be able to just execute, control what's going on in this crazy brain of yours, because that's what's ultimately either stopping you or allowing you to perform at your best. So here's the call to action for tonight. Let me go through this real quick. It's called R5. Let me stop and share one more thing because it's a little easier to read. Jonah, I assume you have like a Slack or something. You can just drop this little JPEG in there for them. Cool. So Jonah will get you guys this. If you want a little cheat sheet or something to look at, let me move you guys. Obviously, it's a quick overview on everything we talked about, but I really want
a
you to
high-level breakdown of the difference between attention and intention.
Yeah, who just said that? Those are two night and day things, but I can I don't know, I can't see who's talking. Who's talking? How can I where you at? What's your name? Raise a hand. I'm assuming you're on my screen. Well, I'll start with intention if we're answering that, because I can't see who it was. I don't know why. To me,
Hey,
intention is
sorry,
Yep. Go ahead.
sorry, it was Delroy. I was just asking a question and it kind of leaked through the mic, but I was trying to figure out the difference between attention and intention, because it just stuck out to me that they have both the same kind of ending but different beginnings. So I was trying to figure out, just logically how that's kind of plays out.
And I'm gonna roll the dice here and say you were talking to Chat GPT. True or not true?
Yeah,
Yeah, buddy.
unmuted.
Yeah, I know it did. All right, give us what it said, and I'll give you my version.
I didn't finish yet because it unmuted in the middle of the Zoom. So
And you freaked out and you stopped. You didn't press enter or what? You can press enter. Give us some
yeah,
give
pretty
us some
much.
knowledge, baby.
All right, 1 second.
And I'm hoping you did that because if you guys were on last week's call, I told you guys to download WhisperFlow, which is a game changer. So if you download a WhisperFlow, you get bonus points instead of getting quote unquote reprimanded right now. Come on, give us some data, baby.
All right, so the first thing it says is that attention is where your mind goes, and then intention is where your actions aim. Attention is a spotlight, and intention is the targeting system. So attention is reactive, consumptive, and it hijacks whatever's the loudest. And then intention is more directive, generative, and future facing. So what I took away from that is more of like attention just captures your mind at any moment based on the blaring signals. Intention kind of narrows it down and focuses on moving forward to the next thing.
Nice. So once something has your attention, so I'll give you one of my most I don't know, widely used sentences. No frame, no game. No frame, no game. Meaning, if I'm stepping into anything, if I'm stepping into this call, I have to ask myself, what frame am I setting? Because I have a desired result. The desired result may be for you guys to learn a certain thing. The desired result may be that you guys lean into my authority, so I have to show up a certain way. When I say no frame, no game, anytime I step into it, especially a conversation with another human being, but this goes for just about anything, I always ask myself, what is my desired outcome? Because once I know my desired outcome, I get to show up in a way that gives me the highest likelihood of achieving said outcome. But if I just go into it, to your point, reactive instead of proactive, I don't really know what I want from this. I don't know the best way that this could turn out. Like I'm going to show up and I'm going to let somebody else. And the rule about this, by the way, this is an excellent book by Oren Klaff. What's the name of the book? Pitch anything by Oren Klaff, and it's about frame control. And you guys can learn this on your calls, by the way. Anytime two people meet, two frames collide. And the one with the more powerful frame wins every time. This is from a handshake to a conversation to a pitch. And you guys know this rule. Every time there's a conversation, when you guys are on the phone, right? There's always a close. True or not true? Either you close them on why they should buy the policy, or they close you on the reason why they're not going to buy the policy. Somebody gets closed every single time. That's the frame game. So the more you can go into that with power, the higher likelihood you bring the dominant frame. Anyway, excellent book, Recco. Oren Klaff, Pitch Anything. It's about frame control. It really is what I do for a living, which is the neuroscience approach to sales. It's how to bypass the lizard brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, and talk to them at a deeper subconscious level, and you'll be able to get them to do whatever you want. Careful with it. I hate NLP. I think neuro-linguistic program is for bitches. I think people use it to actually manipulate people, but this is a very scientific approach to handling your sales calls. So it's an excellent read. Last few minutes while I have you guys here, this is my action item for you guys. I gave you a little bit about going to sleep blind and cold and deaf and all the things, Helen Keller style. Sorry to say that. R5 is what I do every single night, and this is one of the biggest game changers for my guys. Joe Hardy knows this well, and I thought Matt was going to be on here. Maybe I just can't see him. Matt, if you're on here, I can't see you. Every single night, I do a return and report, and then I reflect, and then I make any course corrections. I realign towards the targets, and then I repeat. And by repeat, that means I plan for my next day. So here's what it looks like for me. We have a mapping system inside the program. You guys might use Google Maps. I don't care what it is, but you should have something that you can look back on your day. Let's say it's the end of the night. You're winding down. You cut out the caffeine. You got the blue blockers on. You haven't eaten anything. Like you're doing everything right. The best thing you could do now is prepare for tomorrow. And one of the best ways to prepare for tomorrow is to look at today. When I started off, I said I was going to do this, and this. So I'm going to return to today's performance. Somehow you have to start tracking your day's performance. Again, whether you're just looking at a Google Calendar and you've got all your appointments in there, whether you have a checklist for your morning routine, whatever it is, I want you to start tracking what you're doing in a day, and not to a degree that it's like consumes your life and it's too much for you. I don't want to create friction here, but you're going to return to the current day. You're going to report on what you got done and what you didn't get done. Did I do the shit that came out of my mouth? I said I was going to do this, and this. Well, I did 62% of that. That's okay. What am I learning about me? Then you're going to reflect what is working and what is not working in my current day. What might be working is I've been really consistent with my morning routine, and I'm showing up to the office a little earlier than usual and with great energy. What might not be working is I keep crashing at 2:00. I reach for a Celsius, and then the rest of my day is kind of like I'm jittery and all over the place. I don't execute as well. I don't know. This is why we have to return and look at our day, take a report on what we got done, reflect on what's working about our day and what's not, and then make one course correction. This is the crucial part on the realign section. So return, report, reflect, realign. What is one change? And you only can pick one, because if you pick too many, I promise you'll do none of them. This is all science. What is one small thing I can course correct on to be a little more effective tomorrow? And then, of course, repeat, meaning I'm going to plan tomorrow. This whole process, when you first start it, may take you 20 minutes. When you get good at it, it takes you about 5. And this 5 minutes, if you spend the time doing this, please don't throw this away and say, nah, it's not for me. No, I don't have anything to return and report on. I don't want to track. Like, try to defeat all the stories that might be coming up for you right now in your head. Whatever friction you have with this one tool, I promise you, what's going to happen is you're going to start to recognize patterns of behavior. And then you're going to be able to interrupt those patterns one small change at a time until all of a sudden you're producing at a higher and higher level. Return, report, reflect, realign, repeat. Please, please, please map out tomorrow tonight before your head hits the pillow. Whatever mapping out tomorrow looks like, it's going to look different for everybody on this call. Some of you will be meticulous. Some of you already have a system. Some of you have never done this before, have never heard this, have no clue where to start. Get a blank piece of paper and just write down, this is the shit I'm going to do. I don't care. Some version of preparation for tomorrow. One in the chat if you're committed to doing that. Just try this little routine. If you do nothing else. We did a lot today. We talked about time and building your bookends and managing your time. We talked about Pomodoro technique. We talked about your energy with caffeine and certain types of food. We talked about attention. We talked about sleep, how to get better sleep, and that's going to affect everything. We talked about screen time, stealing 40.1 days a year. The main thing I want you to take away, because this is a lot in 1 hour, is build my bookends. Can I start to build out a morning routine? And like Jonah said, it doesn't have to be insane. I don't need a bunch of little Brian Johnsons running around and saying, John, I'm going to be late today, bro. I'm on item 17 on my morning routine, and I got to get this shit done. So I'm going to be late to the... No. 3, 4, 5 powerful things. Every single morning, I meditate and pray. Takes me 20 minutes. Every single morning, I work out 45 minutes to an hour. If it's at home, it's 45. If I have to drive to the gym, it's an hour. Every single morning, I run intermittent fasting because I'm busy and I'm old. So the goal is just don't eat. For some of you, that binary approach might be really sexy. Oh, what do I need to do? Did I measure I'm going to play Jonah right now. Is it weighed out? Is my Tupperwares? Is it 8 ounces? Is it the right protein? What are we looking at? EFAs. Oh, fuck. Like, look, that's a lot to think about for some of you. Fuck that. Just don't eat. It's binary. Just flip a switch. I'm not going to eat until 2 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, I can play the crazy macros game. Maybe, right? But every single morning, I'm doing something in my faith, my family, my fitness, and my finance. In my finance, I've already mapped my day, but I'm looking at it again. I make my guys do what's called RGAs, revenue generating activity. Now, they're entrepreneurs. They own their own business. They don't think they have to make money anymore. They think they're going to have others make money for them. You guys don't have to worry about RGAs, but you should be reviewing your day. So every single morning, I'm going through my faith, my family, my fitness, and my finance. Every morning, I send my wife or one of my 3 kids a gratitude message. It puts me in gratitude, and it also takes care of sending something nice and heartfelt to one of my family members. Every single morning, I send a random text to a random person in my phone, letting them know I'm thinking about them. We call that scroll and send. Scroll through your phone. If you got money and you got the iPhone Max, you get to choose between 7 people. If you're broke thick, maybe you get 4 or 5 people because your screen's so small. And you just pick one of those people and you send them a nice message. Every morning I practice gratitude. I have 8 things. And all 8 things get done before I step out the door or before I start my day and see people. I have complete control over my morning. My phone doesn't turn on. It's in bedtime mode. It's in do not disturb mode until 9 a.m. You guys may not have that luxury, but you can definitely turn this thing off from the world. Here's another super duper hack. Stop using your phone as an alarm. And if you're going to use it as an alarm, put it where you have to get out of bed to get to it. For those of you who can just reach over and press snooze, or worse, reach over, grab it, and start your doom scroll. All that dopamine that you're getting before your feet even touch the ground is stopping you from being a high producer. The end. If you go through 25 minutes of reels and memes and TikToks and hip hops and all the fucking things, I don't know what the kids are saying now. If you watch 167 on your fucking phone before your feet hit the floor, you're not going to make any money. Is that still a thing? Can I say it? Can I do it? Can I do my hands the way you're supposed to do it? Someone wants to do it. Someone's like, get this fucking dad joke guy off the call. But most importantly, I want you to think about, because you have an opportunity tonight. Like it's at 4 o'clock if you're in Jonah's office, at 3 o'clock where I'm at. Like you guys will have an opportunity tonight to either just go to bed as normal or just spend 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes, return, report, reflect, realign, repeat. The greats do consistently what the goods do occasionally. Jonah doesn't occasionally have a routine. Jonah doesn't occasionally wake up and do X, Y, and Z, or before he goes to bed, do X, Y, and Z. He just does it consistently. I've traveled with Jonah. I've seen him. Doesn't matter where he's at. It has to get done. These are non-negotiables. These aren't something you just do when you feel like it. They become part of your identity. That's the consistency that the greats have figured out. He's not better than anybody on this call. He's more consistent than some people on this call. The end. Questions, comments, concerns, cuss words. We're coming up on the hour. I prefer cuss words. What are you guys hearing? Let's get some feedback. Let's get one or two of you. Like, what are you taking away from this call? What's one small thing you can do? One thing you can change?
Routine. I got a routine, but it sucks. It's unhealthy. It's not cool. So I have to, I got to change my shit around.
Yeah, perfect, man. And by the way, you chat GPT guys, just say, hey, what's a really optimal morning routine, given this is what my workday looks like, and I want to be able to accomplish it in less than 30 minutes. I mean, the world's at our fingertips now, guys. Like literally, like if you like put it this way, if in your head you're like, well, fuck, I don't know how to create a morning routine. Well, you can create 17 of them right now while you're on this call, and you control the parameters. I want to do it in 30 minutes. I want it to encompass faith, family, fitness, and finance. I need to be at work at this time. So what time do I need to be up? Is there any prep I need to do the night before to execute this morning routine? Thanks, chat. You're the homie. Hey, chat. I'm also looking for a wind down routine. This crazy guy on the phone says I need to go to bed deaf, blind, and cold and do this thing called R5. Can you just lay out a quick little checklist of shit I can do in 20 minutes before I go to bed? Thanks, chat. You're the man. What man? Right? Thank you for that ownership, Brian. My routine sucks. I need to edit my routine. But at least you have a routine. Come on, someone else. Brian Cox can't run the show. Jonah, you're going to pick on someone. Eeny, meeny, miny. I'll do it. Caden. Caden, what's up, brother? What's one takeaway from this call? Come on.
One takeaway from this call, it's definitely like incorporating. I love the incorporation of adding more gratitude into the day, especially by sending those messages out. It's something I like. I mean, I'm pretty fresh out of high school, and it's something that we did, and it's just like I remember the good feeling, like it actually you embody that feeling of gratitude when you do. Like we were writing letters in our case, but messages every day, and I mean, there's a bunch of contacts in the phone to just share positivity to everybody. So I really like that.
Yeah, I love that, brother. And it's 1 minute of your life to send something like, and you'll get a little better at it. You might start with text, then you go voice note, then you start sending videos. Like these little teeny moments, like there's somebody somewhere that's hurting that just needs to know that someone gives a shit about them. Especially dudes. Like dudes don't usually share this kind of stuff. So when another dude receives something, like sometimes they don't know what to do. I've had guys be like, hey, dude, like you all right? Are you in like a cult? Like, what are you sending me this weird shit, right? But most people are very receptive to this. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, send them. And by the way, when you send these, I'm gonna get you in 2 seconds, Connor. Thank you for raising your hand. When you send these, remember this sentence: zero expectation of reciprocation. You're not looking for a hit back. You're not looking for a heart or a thumbs up or anything. You're just sending it to send it because to Caden's point, it feels good on your end when you send it. You could call it selfish. Hey, what's up, brother? Just thinking about you. I'm on my walk this morning. Hope everything's good with you and the fam. Hit me back if you want to chat or whatever. Hey, remember that time we did this crazy shit in high school? Oh, man, it just came across my mind real quick. Some of you are doing a version of this. You're like sharing memes and stuff. That's cool. That's a little something. Connor, what's up, brother?
In terms of takeaways, well, a lot of takeaways, but the biggest one that stuck out to me, because my night routine, morning routine used to suck for the longest time. And I was always like motivated, like I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna do all these things. My biggest takeaway with realign is just doing one thing and doing that rather than trying to do all these different things at once.
Yeah, the one thing, trust me, as high performers, and again, if you guys are drawn to Jonah's message, you're probably a high performer or have become more of a high performer and producer. We want to tackle 6 things at once. We want to, like you said, I noticed in my day this, and this. Well, I'm fixing all those tomorrow. As soon as I get up, it's done. And it's just, I know from experience and from many years as a neuroscience coach, like just pick one. Because the reality is, if you just pick one and you did pretty well with it, number one, it'll probably show up again. You have to pick it again. But if you pick 1, 2, or 3, you have a higher chance of knocking those out and then picking another 1, 2, or 3. So just please, during the realign phase, just what's one small correction I can make? Get to work a little earlier, set my alarm a little different, play a different song before I walk in the office so that I have a better energy. All kinds of little minor tweaks that will make a huge difference. All right, one last takeaway before I bounce. Come on.
Yeah, for me, it'd be the importance of having your morning set up and structured to have enough time to do all the tasks that you want to do. Because my morning always starts off rushed, and I notice here part of my language it fucks me up throughout the entire day and my energy, and that's because I always feel rushed throughout the entire day. And yeah, I think the morning, having an actual scheduled morning is one of the most important things for setting up the day or a successful one, I should say. So that's my biggest takeaway on that.
Yeah, and what's the harm in waking up early enough to not feel rushed? Like that feeling of rush creates anxiety, and then that energy you attract it, right? So now you're putting out
100%.
energy on your first couple calls because you had to rush through your morning. Like just like so. For example, I get up at 5 a.m. like technically 4:48, but I start at 5. I don't finish my personal morning practice till 8, and then from 8 to 9 I meal prep, and then 9 it starts my day, like I told you guys. But like I give myself 3 hours for stuff that takes about 2 and change, maybe less, because I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go through it. And that peace and that calm in the morning, when I do it, I show up completely different than when I'm rushing out of the house. I didn't get it done. I know I should have. So now that's weighing on me. Right. So yeah, man, like it could be as simple as how do I, because you're the architect of this whole game, this whole life. What's the harm in waking up an extra half hour early so you can go through some motions, not rushed? Show up at work, not rushed. Little breath work in the parking lot before you walk in, not rushed. That guy shows up and closes more deals. He's in his power. Proactive versus reactive. You're reacting to the day because you started that cycle early in the morning. I love it, dude. Thanks for the share. All right, guys, protect your team, time, energy, attention, mindset. Today is just bookends. Please build a morning and evening routine. Please work on the R5 routine this evening. Please try these things. I know I'm throwing a lot at you. Jonah, what else do you have? Anything I need to do? Front flip, back flip before we bounce?
This was phenomenal. Like I took a lot of good notes, and I hope all of you on this call took what Nick had to say to heart because he went over a lot of good information. But what I love about this is extremely tactical and extremely tangible. Like he gave you actionable items that you can directly apply to your life tomorrow. It wasn't all this mindset, woo woo, wah wah, man. Like, no, it's like, how do I improve my life? Do exactly what we went over on this call. So I was looking at you and I was looking at a lot of you were paying attention, taking notes. Some of you weren't. And some of you need to go back. I'm gonna go back and listen to this recording because this was phenomenal. So I really like what you said of what you do what the greats do consistently, others do occasionally. And
Yep.
I remember thinking about like putting myself in those shoes where, dude, I'm just an average ass dude. Nothing special. Like 1.9 GPA, don't have innate special talent or ability, but think about how can I gamify my life? Think about how can I almost where it's a cheat code where I can put these little variables in where, all right, well, if I eat healthier food than the person next to me, I'm gonna think better, I'm gonna have more energy, I'm gonna perform better. All right, how is confidence built? All right, confidence built on keeping the promises you made to yourself. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. So all of these things go hand in hand with what you guys are doing. When you keep the promises to yourself, when you wake up early, when you work out, when you meditate, pray, you've got a healthy mindset. All right, you're going to perform better in your business. When you perform better in your business, you're gonna have more peace, and you're gonna have more calm, you're gonna have more confidence. All right, so that's gonna stem over into your relationships. And when things are going bad in one aspect, that stems over the other areas of your life. So the real takeaway from this is you guys need to get obsessed with your personal development. You have to. And I know some of you guys I love, and you guys are on fire. Some of you are lukewarm. What does the Bible say about lukewarm? The Bible says if you're lukewarm, you're going to be spit out. Nobody wants to be lukewarm. Sales is a transfer of what? Sales is a transfer of energy. What did Alfano say on this call? Somebody's getting closed. Either you're closing the client or the client's closing you on why the heck they don't need it. And a lot of times it's just because you weren't as focused as you need to be. So what I want to end this call with and elaborating off of everything Nick said, because this was phenomenal. So thank you, Nick, is just, dude, coming into 2026, become obsessed. Raise the freaking standard. So Nick,
Eric Thomas, be obsessed or be average.
yeah. So Nick, we appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, real quick. I don't know if we just didn't put Connor's hand down or Connor just has one more thing to say. I don't want to leave him hanging. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I just raised my hand, but yeah, Nick, thank you so much. Honestly, I just wanted to like I was trying to take notes, but I just wanted to ask Jonah like, would we be able to access this recording? Because I'd love to be able to come back to it.
yes, I'll get you the recording.
Yeah, I dropped in the chat. All of our team calls, go on YouTube, the Prosper Sales Training YouTube page, and I did drop that link in the chat. So give us like, I don't know, a couple hours after this ends and we'll have it on YouTube.
All right, appreciate you guys. Thanks for everything. I'll see you next week. I know that. So let's keep it moving.
Let's make it a killer week, gents. Peace.
And ladies.